Blessings to you, brothers and sisters of House of Israel scattered in this modern time in Babylon. All the best to you from myself, Tomek, and our brother.
Sebastian?
Book of Deuteronomy, 6th chapter, 4th verse. Hear, O Israel, the Most High,
Hear, O Israel,
the Most High, our power,
the Most High, our power,
is one power,
is one force,
and thou shalt love
and thou shalt love
the Most High, thy power,
the Most High, thy force,
with all thy heart,
with all thy heart,
with all thy soul,
with all thy soul,
and with all thy might.
and with all thy mind.
And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. Seb, we're gonna disconnect for a second, and I'm gonna put on this recording from a couple of days ago when I made a mistake, and I'm gonna call you back in like a minute and a half.
Okay, all right.
Okay? Fourth recording in Haya TV. Israel is 64 views 3 days ago, 5 thumbs down. Thank you very, very much to the Christian brethren scattered around the world. In this recording, I have made a mistake. I have made the mistake and mistake. I've made an mistake. This is the thing. I'm not very skillful in using English language, but with the time I'm gonna pick it up, I believe. So I made a miswording when trying to explain in short the genealogy of who Israel was, and instead of saying Rebecca, I said Sarah. This is what I have said in the last recording. Before we're gonna go any further, I think for those of you who are like truly fairly and squarely beginners in studying of this book, in this very short segment I would like to show you not necessarily who Israel is in detail from this book in this segment. In short, Israel is the youngest son of Isaac, who was the youngest son, second son of Abraham. First son was Ishmael, the youngest son, Isaac, was born to Sarah. Sarah gave birth to siblings. First one came just like Europeans, look alike. The second one came as everybody else. Isaac, who was the youngest son, second son of Abraham. First son was Ishmael. So that's not truth. He was younger son of Sarah and Abraham. Isaac was. But after Sarah died, Book of Genesis, 25th chapter, 1st verse. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And we're gonna read this together with Seb in a minute. Well, the youngest son, Isaac, was born to Sarah. Sarah gave birth to siblings. First one. So Sarah couldn't give birth to siblings because Sarah was the one who gave birth, gave life to Isaac in the first place. So Rebecca was the one who gave birth to siblings. So these mistakes I have made in previous recording. From my past experience experience which I have had in Haya TV, I can say that I am making a lot of mistakes. Oftentimes I think something different, I say something different, or I just made a mistake. So please, for the future, keep an eye on me and try to correct all my mistakes I'm making as we go.
Halo?
Siemanes.
Siema.
Okay, so have you watched those recordings I've made in Haya TV?
One more time?
Have you watched those recordings, last 3 recordings?
No.
Oh, you haven't yet.
I took part in it, so I know what has been told.
Okay. So, I made a mistake in last segment, saying that Sarah was somehow mother of Isaac, and then she was mother of Isaac's 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. Well, it was Rebecca. It was, of course, in my head resounding, but I said something different. But just because we are still on the beginning of recording in Haya TV, and we are still in Deuteronomy 6th, 4th chapter, Hear, O Israel. First we're gonna correct the first mistake I have made, because I've said as well that Isaac was the youngest son of Abraham, which is not true. In a way, it's true, was the youngest son of Abraham and Sarah, right? But we know that in 25th chapter, book of Genesis, it is written, "Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bore him Zimran, and Yokshan, and Midan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua, and Yokshan begot Sheba, and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, and Letushim, and Letushim, and Leumim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanoch, and so on and so forth. These are genealogies of Abraham, children, which were born to himself and to Keturah. So, I was thinking about... Are you there, Seb? Seb, are you there?
Yeah.
I was thinking because in last recording I have already said something about what word Shem means, the word hear and obey means, and I've said in like a nutshell about Israel still being in existence in this biblical story from cover to cover, and we've said already that there is no word Lord or God, but there is word Alahayim, right? So I was thinking that today perhaps we can talk about our power is one power, about the Most High being one in a context of genealogy. What do you say to that?
Carry on.
So, to do this, let us go first. Book of Job, 8th chapter, 8th verse. For enquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. We know that in modern times, in modern Jewry, if you want to prove your genealogy, you have to trace your family tree to who? To father or to the mother? How it is, Seb?
As far as I'm aware, about the mothers in modern Israel.
Of course. Of course. Like in every pagan nation, not every pagan nation, but many pagan nations, especially those with very derogatory family trees, they trying to justify their presence on a piece of land which didn't belong to their forefathers, say, like modern Jewry does, which everybody knows are Khazarians, that somehow, for inquire, I pray, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers, is no longer something which we should be taking into account. That the Most High said that the man is who his father was, not his mother was. This is very difficult concept. I mean, not very difficult concept, but it's just being discarded in modern Jewry, which we, in a context of the Most High being one, in this short segment we're gonna discuss. So, not far from Book of Job, Seb, do you want to say something?
No, you carry on, Tomasz.
So, we are not far from genealogy of Abraham and Keturah in Book of Chronicles, so let's read this for the beginning. Now, the sons of Keturah, Abraham's concubine, she bore Zimran and Yokshan and Medan and Midian and Ishbak and Shua. So Zimran, Yokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak and Shua. Czyli 6 synów urodziła mu Ketura, tak? Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, I got carried.
To all the viewers, it's very unnatural to speak to the older Polish bloke in English. Very unnatural, and we're trying to do our best.
Yes, I got carried away in the spirit, I think. Sorry, I was trying to say that it's very interesting that Keturah gave birth to six sons of Abraham. It's just interesting, I think, that the seventh perfect son was born to Sarah, and one was born also to the slave. It's very interesting, but that's for another time. So, what in the context of genealogy should we read? What do you think? I think we're gonna read Book of Proverbs. What do you say?
To be honest, not the subject I ever thought about. I just left to do it. I'll be listening. Maybe I will find out something new, and for sure more.
Sorry, can you repeat? Can you speak a bit slower?
So it's not a subject I ever thought about. So I'll let you go, and I'll be listening. Hopefully, I will learn something new.
Did we never talk about genealogies?
About the genealogies, but not in the context of the Chaya is one.
All right. Okay. So
I know what has been told to this moment. I knew before, but maybe you carry on.
Yeah. So I mean, now when I'm gonna read this, I think you're gonna know which path I took to try to explain what I'm trying to say. So the Book of Proverbs, 30th chapter, 5th verse. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words. Add thou not unto his words. Lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. I'm gonna read it again, okay, Seb? Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Seb, do you want to say something?
You carry on, Tomasz. I'm trying to listen.
So, we have discussed in the first recording of Chaya TV, we sat down together, how the word Alahayim is more than one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's just take this context for a second. Let's just take this context for a second. Let's just think about this for a second. Every word of God is plural or God is singular, Seb?
The word God.
Yeah.
The word God is singular for sure.
I mean, we do this, I mean, maybe it's tedious for you viewers, and we try to do this on base level, but I think for some of you this tediousness is gonna perhaps open new way of looking at the biblical story, because we're gonna talk about the Father and the Son. In the next text we're gonna read about the Father and the Son, and this context of genealogy in the Bible, Father and the Son, not Mother and the Son, is very important, because with this understanding that Father and the Son being achad, being united in judgment, being not singular in number but singular in judgment, but plural in presence, this is a very important thing to understand. And if people were to understand this basic precept of the book, so-called Bible, they would save themselves a lot of problems, in my opinion.
Yeah, basic understanding.
Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his word. So you should not add anything. So let's say Alahayim, it wouldn't be Alahayim, but it would be Eloah. It would say in a text, Hebrew text, Eloah. Then we know this word would be singular, right?
Yeah.
So what? Christianity transferring now, so translating Christianity, modern Christianity, or Christian culture, so to say, in general, transferring word Alahayim into singular form. Now, if the word would be Eloah and would be transforming the form to plural form, this is the same thing he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because one important thing, you will not add anything, correct?
Yeah.
But Book of Revelation of John, 22nd chapter, 17th verse. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come, and let him that heareth say, Come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. Speak. Water of life is, of course, the Spirit which bursting in one's man's heart. From the abundance of a man's heart the mouth will speak. This is what he's talking about. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. So it is in slightly different words, put the same thing which we have read in book of Proverbs. Add thou not unto his words, right?
Yeah.
For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life. So, one thing, Seb, is not to add anything, but another thing is not to take away anything, right?
You have to remove, yes.
Seb, can you mute for a second, because there's some very high-pitched sounds coming from your microphone. So, Book of Proverbs, 30th chapter, 1st verse. The words of Agur, the son of Yakeh, even the prophecy, the man spoke unto Ithiel, even unto Ithiel and Ukal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who had ascended up into heaven, or who had ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who had gathered the wind in his fists? Who had bound the words? Who had bound the waters in a garment? Who had established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell, what is his name, and what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. Seb, do you want to comment?
You know, Thomas, you carry on. I'm trying to listen, but it's a very bad line.
Okay. So, we are reading from Book of Proverbs to you, brothers and sisters. It says, every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. We know that those people who put their trust in the Most High, they're going to receive blessing, but cursed be the man who put his trust in another man. If me and Seb, we were the first one to tell you that the word God doesn't pertain in no shape or form to this story, let us advise you that it not us who wrote this book. This book was in existence long before any of us was around. And the book says about the Creator and about someone out of this concept of Creator ascending and descending. Seb, are you there?
Yes.
So,
One more time.
who had ascended up into heaven or descended? Who had gathered the wind in his fists? Yes, Seb, you want to say something?
You ask me who has descended from
It is written, as it is written, it is only Christ.
Only one.
Only one. This is written in book of Hebrews, as far as I remember, 5th chapter maybe, or something like that.
Oh,
So,
I don't remember, I don't remember.
yeah, but let's not make it too complicated, okay? The fact of the matter is, we are reading in a book that Creator is Father, that the name of Him who is Creator in this book, the name, the Shem, the authority of the Most High is the Father and the Son. So, how is the Father and the Son, whose name most of you Christians to whom we speak, you don't know, you don't have idea about the name of the Most High? And I'm not speaking about pronunciation or alliteration of word Chaya. You can call him Chava. We understand that though those of us know the Most High who keep His commandments, but only starting the subject of "Hear, O Israel, Haya our power, Haya is one," already goes to show that those of you who are listeners and viewers of Haya TV so far, I don't know if some of you are so to say passerbyers in YouTube. By accident, someone came and have a straw, and he didn't like the facial expressions maybe of the operator of the camera. But some of you, I sincerely believe, you are the students of the book. So please don't get angry with us. That the Most High, the Creator of heaven and earth, is the Father and is the Son. Okay? And if you didn't knew His name, to help to understand this concept, we're gonna need to have another few recordings. What do you think, Seb? To explain how no one's seen the Father, and how Israelites standing at the mountain, at the feet of the mountain, waiting for Moses, they saw the Most High. Right? We're gonna read all those texts. Now we're gonna.
Lots of things to talk about. I cannot say everything in one hour.
Yes. But on the beginning of every path of new understanding is very important to grasp the basics. If someone is starting to thinking himself to be a clever man just because he belongs to maybe Christian denomination in which you have a clever pastor with a doctor or professor in front, this is not type of wisdom this book requires. Listen, the 30th chapter, book of Proverbs. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who had ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who had gathered the wind in his fist? Who had established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? With singular God in a story from the beginning, your translators of your so-called holy scriptures, they try to put your mind into serving this idea that the Most High is one God, singular one God, especially that reading King James Bible we've just read, that the Most High is one, right?
Right.
And on this base of misunderstanding of how Hebrew language explaining this idea, how the Most High is one, there is many there is many people debating the subject, if the Jesus Christ is God, right? If the Father is the only God, or the Christ is God as well, right?
Yeah, not about something.
Yes.
It's not from the beginning.
Yes. So now I'm gonna show to the camera a book, because we're gonna wrap up this segment. This is Interlinear Bible, Hebrew, Greek, English. I have this book in 4 smaller volumes. This one is quite difficult to carry, but I thought I'm gonna bring it over. I'm gonna show you something. Deuteronomy, 6th chapter, right? We've read already the prologue to the book of Ecclesiasticus, when the man was trying to explain that some ideas from Greek language, from Hebrew language, are impossible to transfer to another language. Therefore, the law and the prophets, they are somewhat different to what original intention of the writer of the text was, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, in Interlinear Bible, you have text of English language on one side, and in the middle you have text in the Old Testament is so-called Hebrew text, and in the New Testament is so-called Greek text of what is written. Above the word you have number, and below you have English definition of what the word said. And this, what we're gonna do now, for someone like me, is a great privilege, really, to be in a position to be like a teacher to someone who's gonna learn something new. Because let me tell you that in Polish language, this what I'm doing now would be somewhat more difficult to be done, because as far as I know, there is no serious study book like the Strong's Concordance, which is based on authorized text of the book, which I could pull out and show you what I'm gonna show you right now. How the Most High, the Father and the Son, being united in judgment, they are one. Seba, can you mute yourself for a second? And unmute yourself if you want to say something, because there's some noises going out from your microphone.
Thomas, I'll disconnect. I'll leave it with you. I barely hear you. And I'll listen
Okay.
to it when you finish. All right. So, all the blessings for...
Siemanes. Book of Deuteronomy, 6th chapter, and 4th verse. Hear, O Israel. I'm reading what it says in Hebrew modern text. Jehovah, our God, is one. Jehovah, and you shall love Jehovah, your God. And the words, Hear, O Israel, Jehovah, our God, is one. The word one achad, 259, 259, okay? 3 letters, A, Aleph, Hey, is rather Ch, and the achad, number 259, number 259. Having lexicon of knowledge like this, now I'm gonna show you 259, wasn't it? 259. In Hebrew section of the book. How the Most High, being creative power, being Father and Son, He is one. Because although He is being plural in number, He is being 2, 5, 9. Achad, 259. Hebrew Aramaic Dictionary. Hear, O Israel, Haya, our power, the Most High is achad. Achad, a numeral from 258, properly united, i.e. or alike. Achad stresses unity. Achad stresses unity, not numerology. Achad stresses unity. Achad stresses unity, oneness, but recognizing diversity within that oneness, but recognizes diversity with that oneness. So the word achad recognizes oneness but diversity in this oneness. Is like you are a member of one family, you are a father of your children and you have wife, and you teaching your children what you want to teach them, and if they obey you, this is, and if your wife obeys you as a family unit, this is type of oneness we're talking about. We are talking about the Most High, who is being one in judgment, in oikodomeo, in the law of the house, economy of the house. This is what the word achad describes, unity between the Father and the Son. And this idea is being carried on from the first books of the Bible, from the first chapter, from the first verse of the book. So to say, if we have greater understanding that the Most High is, like we've read in Book of Proverbs, the Father and the Son. And for the end of this recording, let us read Book of Proverbs again. Book of Proverbs from King James Bible. Book of Proverbs, 30th chapter and 4th verse. Who had ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who had gathered the wind in his fists? who had bound the waters in a garment, who had established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is his son's name? If thou canst tell, the word name is the word Shem. So now we're gonna read about the part of his Shem, of the Shem of the authority of him who is the part of the so-called in Christianity Godhead. This is how politologists are describing this unity of what they call Trinity. Trinity, of course, is not the biblical. There is a concept of meta. We know in word Yoruba, meta means three in one, but we know that the Holy Spirit is not a person. The Holy Spirit is the Word, which the Most High. Let's read this. Our brother Yeshaya gave to us. His words are spirit and they are life. Let me just check. We've read on the previous recordings about the Most High created everything on the beginning with His Word. On the beginning was the Word, and the Word was the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the Most High. Gospel of Yachanan. This is Hallelujah scriptures I'm going to read you from. This is going to explain the name of him who ascended and ascended into heaven. He who is the part of this idea of creating everything we see. Yachanan 6th chapter and 61st verse. But Yeshaya, knowing within himself that his Talmidim were grumbling about this, said to them, does this make you stumble? What if you see the son of Adam going up where he was before? What if you're gonna see the son of Adam going up where he was before? There's only one who descended and ascended to heaven. It is Ruah, it is spirit, it is Ruah that gives high, it is spirit that gives high, that gives life. The flesh does not profit at all. The words that I speak to you are Ruach, and they are high, and they are life. First letter of Yohanan, first letter of John. What was from the beginning, what we have heard, what we have seen with our eyes, what we have looked upon and our hands have handled, concerning the word of Chai, concerning the word of life. And the Chai, the life, was manifested, and we have seen and bear witness, and announce to you that everlasting Chai, which was with the Father and was manifested to us. We announce to you what we have seen and heard, so that you too might have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with the Ben, with the Son, Yeshua, Yashaya, HaMashiach. And we write this to you in order that you might be complete. And complete telios teliates, perfect. And this is the message which we have heard from him and announced to you, that Elohim, there is no word God in the text of Hallelujah scriptures, there is word Elohim, Alachayim, powers. And this is the message which we have heard from him and announced to you, that Elohim, Alachayim, is light, that Alachayim is light. For the commandment, for the law is a lamp, for the commandment is a lamp, the law is light, and reproofs of instructions are the way of life, as we've read several times in last recording. 6th chapter, 23rd verse, I believe, book of Proverbs. Christ says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. That Alachayim is light, and in him is no darkness at all. If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and are not doing the truth. But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Yeshaya HaMashiach, his Ben, his sons, cleanse us from all sin. Book of Hebrews. The Most High, having of old spoken in many portions and many ways to the fathers by the Nebim, has in these last days spoken to us by the Ben, by his Son, whom he has appointed the heir of all, through whom also he made the ages. Please excuse me, somewhat slightly different text, but I'm making difficulties, especially I'm making myself reading of this text more difficult than is necessary, I think. Let me read this text from the book of Hebrews. This text is going to explain to us how the Most High, the Father and the Son, not in detail, this text is not going to explain to us, but just so you have idea how the Most High, Alachayim, being one, being united in judgment, created everything. The book of Hebrews. The Most High, who at sundry times and in divers manners spoke in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, that in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power. So he's talking about the Son, who is upholding everything by the words of his power, who is being the brightness of icon of who the Father is. Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the Majesty on high, being made so much better than the angels, as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my Son, this day have I begotten thee? And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten, prototokos, prototikto, born from teko, from the seed, born from the seed, from its own definition. If we have greater understanding about what was written, for example, in Greek text, we are not going to be fooled believing that the Most High power, Yeshua Christ, was born without the seed of the man, because the Most High was not firstborn. This is a lie. Prototikto, into the world, firstborn between many brethren, as it is written in Book of Romans. And upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, had sat down on the right hand of the Majesty on high. So he descended, and he was the one who came back to heaven. People reading Book of Proverbs, they might not have had idea what the story was containing, this idea of father and son. But in nowadays, having this greater idea and understanding of Allah Hayim being in more than one form, and him being one, united in judgment, I hope you start better understanding what is taking place in this book. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my Son, this day have I begotten thee? And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, And let all the angels of the Most High worship him. And of the angels he saith, Who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire? But unto the Son he saith, Thy throne, O, it is written in King James Version of Bible, O God, Thy throne, O Allah Hayim, the Most High, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness, and hated iniquity. Therefore, the Most High, even thy power, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above all thy fellows. And thou, the Most High, in the beginning hast laid the foundations of the earth. Is speaking about the Son in the context. All this time. And he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, And let all the angels of the Most High worship him. And thou, the Most High, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thy hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they shall all wax old as doth a garment, and as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. But to which of the angels saith he at any time, Sit on my right hand, until I make thy enemies thy footstool? Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? Glory be to the Most High, power, everlasting, power of life. Peace be to all of you, brothers and sisters of House of Israel, scattered in Babylon in this modern time. Glory be to the Most High. All the best. See you in the next segment. Take care.